so in the meantime, since I last played PowerWash Simulator, they added the Muckingham Files Part 2, which adds in 3 new jobs into the game. So my goal today is to finish all 3 of these jobs. We'll probably just go in order, so we'll start with Clean the Paintball Arena. Welcome, Power Washer, to the home of splattered dreams and bruised egos, the Muckingham Mustangs Paintball. This is Dan, nice name, Van Beethoven. I'm sure this commission must come as something of a surprise. After all, what alerts you to the fact you're entering the fray better than being surrounded by the vestiges of years of combat? I, for one, feel all the hairs on my neck, back, and shoulders bristle as soon as I see that mine cart caked in the misses of my enemies. But needs must. We have a score to settle with the Detergento Dragon Slayers, and for this, we're going to need a completely spotless battlefield. 100 shots each, count the hits and the misses. One winner, no arguments. Okay. Confirm. I haven't played this in about 2 months. Let's see what we got, if I can remember the controls. Okay, that's how I switch. Oh, this is larger than I was expecting. Let's hope that it's not super hard to clean. I'm not a sentimental person, nothing could be further from the truth, but it's still going to be sad seeing all these amazing memories get washed away. Rest in peace, memories. Do you want to hear some stories about them? Sure, why not? I need entertainment while I'm sitting here doing all this work. But yeah, I've been sick, so I haven't been able to do much. Thankfully, I guess thankfully, I got sick on a long weekend, so I had an extra day to recover before it was back to work. Okay, got that door. Got that door. The song seems a little loud to me. Fine, I can fix that for myself at least. I think Streamlabs keeps the songs mostly low volume for you guys. The song doesn't sound very good. It sounds dissonant. Can I get on top of the sign? I don't like this song. I don't like it at all. One second. This is like the second or third one that we've gotten to, so we're gonna go to just a different video. This one. Okay, wait, sorry. You see me now, and we're back on the game. Okay. But is there a ladder anywhere? That's a minecart track. I think I can see a spot that I missed over there. Oh, do I not have an extension on? Okay. Okay, there we go. There's that post. This one also needs some attention, and there we go. Okay. All right. And we got that. Alright, let's just work our way around the outside, shall we? Let's start with the sidewalk here. I'm not entirely sure how long these jobs are going to take me. It's my intention to try and do all 3 of them today, but if they end up taking a long time, I might have to push it. But hopefully they don't. Hopefully everything's mostly under control. I don't like that clicking in my ear either. What is up with all these lo-fi songs and not being like relaxing to listen to? One of them is just dissonant and the other one is clicking in my ear, hostile, in a hostile manner. Yeah, it sounds like there's something wrong with it. Ow, okay, this song is just no. I don't understand what's so difficult about this. Let's see. Try something different, I guess. Okay, let's see how that goes. See how long it goes, if we can make it past 2 songs before we have one that's just awful. PowerWash simulator, there we go. We need the hitching post here to get finished. Finished. Alright. The trough now. Trough's done. And I got the sidewalk, so now we need to get these buildings here. Okay, so the fence, the post here is just part of the wall. And the frame of the door is just part of the door itself. Parkour up here. Nice. Okay, that takes care of that. Now I gotta get like the sides of the door. Nice, okay. I've never been paintballing before, but I feel like it would be both painful and fun. I don't know what's more common between going paintballing or going to like airsoft. I know there are people who can get very, very into both of them. I've seen some of those videos of people like cheating and raging at them. Alright, let's see if I need to get up here and get like... Nice. Okay, we got the bank. Now we are off to the saloon. Should probably just keep going this way, get the window as well. Alright, and now we get this side. And there we go. The fence is done. We still have to get the wall and the sign. But it's going pretty smooth. Saloon. Okay, so I'm still missing something on that sign, and then I probably need to get this wall here. Okay, we got the wall, now I gotta get the sign. Really annoyed that there's no ladder though, because the stool's not really gonna help me much here. Alright, there we go. Couldn't really see it, but we got it. Hello there, baby boy. Nice. That worked out perfectly. I know that there are a couple of other, like, expansion packs that are currently under production for PowerWash Simulator. I think there's 2 that haven't come out that they've announced that I'm aware of. I know they have a Warhammer one, and they've also announced a Back to the Future one. Now, I don't know a whole lot about Warhammer. I know that there's a fantasy version. I know there's a like a spacey futuristic one. And I think this one would be the futuristic one, because I think that's a more popular branch of it. But I have seen the Back to the Future movies. You know, the DeLorean would have to be one of them. But that sounds like it would be fun. Cool. Now we have a big rock face to clean up. Well, I was just gonna work my way around the outside, so... no time like the present. These rocks are divided, it seems. There's a seam here. I'll try and get this side first. I don't like the indent on the rock there. It looks like it's dirty, but it's just like a divot. Interesting how much of it is still dirty. I guess there is some on the top there. Nice. Alright. Get the next one. Let's see, where does this cut off? Right here. Probably gonna have to climb back up onto this thing. Nice. Oh, were these two? These were two different rock faces. Okay, well, they're all cleared now. Alright. This one's probably gonna be another... I wonder how effective I could clean this whole thing, just like from up here. Honestly, feels pretty effective. Wow, that worked out pretty dang well. Victory's mine. Okay. I didn't know that a concept like victory could have a mine. You can see that purple blob just on the top corner of the cactus? Aren't there more than one cactus? That's my favorite splat here, from back when we were... Back when were the Muckingham Manticores? You mean when we were the Muckingham Manticores? Miggy Mist, captain of the... Dang it, my computer's being stupid. Of the Dragon Slayers, had sprung out of the fort with only one thing on his mind, my demise. So I instinctively surged into my signature forward roll. A split second later, his shot was on the cactus, while mine was a clean hit on the shin. Well done. You did it, son. I've never been able to play paintball or anything like that, but I have played laser tag, and I do enjoy laser tag. I'm pretty good at it too. I remember my fraternity had a rush event one winter. So it was cold, you couldn't really go out and do anything, so you had to come up with rush events that you could do indoors, and we rented out laser tag place. And that was actually pretty popular. A lot of people wanted to go do that. And I remember there were some of the brothers that were
that we jumped over 3,000 subscribers.
Congratulations on getting over 3,000 subscribers. I'm very, very proud of you. I'm gonna skip you though, I'm afraid, because I don't. Very rude, I know. Alright. There was a bit of a rivalry forming between some of the brothers. They were trash talking each other over who was going to get first place and all that stuff. And you know, they weren't taking it too seriously, but they were, you know, they were trash talking, and it was funny. I was still like a new brother. This was my first semester being an active brother in the fraternity. I had just joined the previous semester. So I didn't really want to like talk much, and I didn't want to join in on the trash talking with you know, these older brothers, which they're my brothers now, but like you're still a little intimidated. So I didn't really say much. I didn't want to brag at all about how I was pretty good at laser tag. So we go in and we're playing, and I end up doing very, very well. I found a very nice spot and just kept shooting people from it, and nobody was really trying to get me out of it. Nobody like tried to push me out, so I just kind of stayed there, kind of camping, but you know, they're just kind of sitting there getting hit over and over again. Nobody's trying anything aside from trying to shoot me from far away. And at the end of the game, like, I don't think the other people were also like focused on targeting each other. that I just slipped under the radar. And I remember we got out of the laser tag room and we go and we look at the scores, and there's you know, there's some pretty respectable scores up there, but then mine is like 50% higher than second place. And everybody's like, who the crap is this person? Because, you know, all the vests have a different name on them. So it was like Thor and like different like Greek and Norse gods were on a lot of the names. And I remember my name was Zeus and I was the one in first place. And they're like, who the crap is Zeus? They're all running around trying to like check people's vests. But I'd already taken mine off at that point. I think I didn't tell people that it was me until later. I think they thought it was one of the new guys that we were trying to like attract to the fraternity. And I just kind of let him take the glory for a bit. I love laser tag though, but the laser tag place around me that I grew up like playing, it shut down. The entire mall that it was in shut down, which was kind of disappointing. I had more than one birthday party there. I was kind of sad to see that happen, but the malls in general just have not been doing a whole lot to compete with online shopping. That's honestly the biggest reason that the malls are going downhill is A, online shopping is more convenient and provides more variety, but it's also cheaper to shop online. Everything at the mall is expensive, and then the malls are charging obscene rent to the stores, so they're having even more trouble making a profit. And it's just a bad cycle, so a lot of the malls are closing down. Every time I go to a mall now, I just get depressed because everything looks so, like, derelict. But I had a lot of fun with the different rush events that we would do. For anybody that's unfamiliar, when you go to college and if you want to join a fraternity, at least this is the way it worked at my college, and I'm under the impression this is a similar process for most of them. What'll happen is, like, your first or second semester, depending on the rules, the fraternities all will be participating in what's called Rush, and it's like a 3 or 4 week period where all the fraternities are actively trying to encourage people to try and join them. And to do so, they'll hold all these different types of events to try and attract people. And the events will usually include like food or games or entertainment of some type. Like, and some will be like trips. There's like go-karting, and there's, you know, casino nights and watching sports and, you know, dodgeball or basketball. They'll have steak dinners, and it's just everything they can do to try and attract about whatever like college guys would be interested in doing, short of drinking, because rushes are nowadays not allowed to include any form of alcohol, especially considering most of the people being rushed are freshmen and therefore under 21. But there's this period where people will be rushing around, like, it's called rushing, where you're trying to hold these events and everything, and we would have some fantastic rush events. They'd be a blast. Like, the brothers would have fun, and then in turn the potential new guys would be having fun too. And then by the end of rush, if a person has developed a good enough relationship with the brothers at that point, then the fraternities will give a bid to the person saying like, hey, we would like you to join our fraternity. And then the person that gets the bid can choose to sign it or not, and a person could get more than one bid from different fraternities, but they're only allowed to sign one, so they have to choose which fraternity they would want to join. And then if you sign your bid, that's not it, at least not for most fraternities. There are some now where that is just it, but at least in my fraternity, after you sign your bid, you become an associate member is the political the politically acceptable word for it, but it's more colloquially known as a pledge, where they usually spend about 1 or 2 semesters, depending on the fraternity, as kind of like the new guys, where they are like, they're usually taught new things. First of all, the main point of it is education. It's meant to like develop relationships amongst the pledges and with the brothers that they're going to be joining as well. And yeah, we usually like to poke fun at them and make them do stupid things just for the heck of it. But we would never do anything like hostile. We would never do anything violent, nothing weird. Okay, well, there was weird stuff, but not like, you know, like disturbingly weird, but like stupid weird. I remember one brother made a pledge bring him a cup of only like Lucky Charms marshmallows, which is, it's so stupid and weird and pointless, but like it's just funny to make them do something. We enforced a rule that they had to like they could only, our house was across the street from the main campus, so a lot of people would just jaywalk across the street to get to our house. But there was an out of the way crosswalk, like, you know, a block down, and so we told the pledges that they were only allowed to come to that across the street by using the crosswalk, and that if they jaywalked, they would be sent back across the street and told to use the crosswalk. It's just stupid things. And I remember I just saw recently that I don't know if it's legitimate or if it's the current brothers that are messing with the pledges this time around, but there were a bunch of, there was a post made to like publicly for my chapter's fraternity saying like, our fraternity encourages good, safe crossing habits for the road, and my class was just dying laughing because it's just, you know, we're trying to figure out if they're actually trying to encourage safety or if it's because of the pledges not being able to cross the road. And then, you know, once somebody finally becomes a brother, they do all the things that they weren't allowed to do. Oh, I already got the sign? Okay, this post I didn't get though. And so they'll like, at like the day they become a brother, they go outside and they jaywalk across the street a couple of times. The pledges aren't allowed to like curse at the brothers, so as soon as they become actual brothers, they go around flipping everybody off in a celebratory manner. It's just funny. Yes, I was trying to mention some of the like different events that we would do. One of my favorites was called Broomball. We would rent out the hockey rink, and then everybody would get a broom, and we would have a bunch of like dodgeballs or kickballs, and you just go around on the ice with just shoes on, no skates or anything, trying to whack these balls into the goals. That was always funny. Somebody always ate it every year, and it was always funny. I think we only had one like actual like major fall like injury, which obviously was not quite as funny as when somebody just eats it for no reason and that gets up and dusts off. I remember having a blast with Broomball. We would go like tubing. We'd just get in some inner tubes and just float down a river for a couple of hours. That was always cool. The year I joined, they did a ropes course up in the trees, and that was really cool. That was a challenge too. That one was arduous, but it was a challenge, and I wanted to prove myself. As far as I can tell, fraternities get a pretty bad rap. A lot of people, like, they'll hear, oh, you're at a fraternity? Ew. Like, why? Gross. Like, did they make you do things? It's like, no. My fraternity is the only reason I really made it through the college that I went to. The guys were... I could rely on most of them if I needed support in different things. But what I could rely on them most was just entertainment and company. Like, I would walk out of my room and there'd just always be something entertaining or stupid happening. And I enjoyed that aspect. I know. They never made me do anything like, you know, sexually weird I don't drink alcohol, and they never forced me to drink alcohol. They respected the fact that I didn't. They told me if I ever decided that I wanted to, that they would, you know, provide me a safe area with, like, people said that they would stay sober for me to make sure that nothing bad happened. Like, they were supportive. They're some good guys. But everybody's so quick now to demonize them, it's unfortunate. And it feels like the schools are actively trying to discourage them, which I think is a silly mistake. Like, they're cutting down on, like, frat parties, which I understand that frat parties also have a bad rap because, you know, underage drinking, which isn't a good thing. But being just blunt and honest, college students are going to drink. They're going to find a way to drink no matter what. So the question is, do you want them to be drinking in a house with people that have to have sober people? Because every fraternity party had to have sober people there chaperoning everything that was happening. And with other people that have, like, a vested interest in making sure that their guests are fine, because no fraternity wants somebody to get alcohol poisoning or have some kind of a major accident happen to them in their house. So do it under this, like, pseudo supervision, or put people in these random apartment parties where they don't know most of the people there, and the people are more likely just going to try and hide what's happening. Like, if somebody gets, you know, super messed up and ends up, like, busting their head open, they'd rather just pretend that nothing happened rather than actually get the person the help that they need. And so I always felt like them cracking down on fraternities, trying to cut down on parties, is just creating a harsher environment for the college students that are going to find a way to drink no matter what. For some reason, people can't control themselves. Which I understood. Like, I never drank, but I never went after people for trying to drink. Like, I understood that it was part of the college experience, and it's just not part of my experience. And then other people argue that fraternities are bad because you're paying for friends. And, like, yeah, there's dues to be a part of the fraternity, but our dues were always spent on, like, food and events with the brothers, and, like, we had a chef for a few semesters because none of the brothers wanted to cook. So we got a chef. There was an entire company called College Chefs that would come and like, give us a chef that would provide us food. And we'd spend it on, like, renovations for the house and the rooms, and very little of that money would go towards the, like, the fraternities, like the national fraternity or anything like that. And all things considered, it ended up being cheaper than living on campus anyway, because my college, as far as I'm concerned, was very expensive for no good reason. And they really wanted to just soak as much money out of you as possible. So the rent, like the board was, or the room, I guess it would be, was always unreasonably expensive. And then, like, if you were living in college housing, you were, like, required to get a meal plan to go with it. Because why wouldn't you be required to get a meal plan to go with it? And that was always also super expensive. And then my college was like, oh yeah, by the way, you're not allowed to live out of campus housing until your third year. Why? Because we have all this expensive housing and nobody's using it because it's so expensive. So now we're gonna force you. The only exception you could really get from that was if you lived at home or if you got into a fraternity house. And then they would also have, they added something else where juniors, third years, one of their semesters were required to do a co-op, to do, like, an internship over a semester. And there would be like a summer courses. And so when a student's doing these internships, they were required to do, like, summer classes to make up for it. And of course, during the summer classes, you are required to stay in the school's housing with a meal plan, of course. I was always very cynical of my fraternities, or not my fraternity, my school's monetary practices. They always felt very scummy to me. So then, you know, I graduate and I get a phone call from this poor, you know, like probably student employee being like, hey, would you like to donate some of your money now that you're finally getting to our school that you still owe like tens of thousands of dollars to? And I was like, no. No, thank you. And I think I said it in such a blunt manner that I got put on a list of probably will never donate, because I have not gotten another call asking me to donate since then. And that was probably like 4 or 5 years ago at this point. Which honestly, it's kind of funny to me. But my school was mediocre as far as I'm concerned, but my fraternity was great. I forget why I even went on this conversation in the first place. But hey, we're like a third of the way done, and we're like 45 minutes through. So yeah, we're doing great on doing great on time. Everything is great, and I appreciate your concern. I feel like some of my buttons aren't working very well, and I'm wondering why. I don't know if it's my controller. I don't think it's my controller. I think it's the game or my computer. I need to restart my computer. I'll do that this weekend. I wonder how often people usually restart their computers. I restart mine like once every 2 weeks, give or take. Unless I find that there's something like not working right, and then, you know, the old adage, turn it off, turn it back on again, see if that fixes it. Cool. This barrel is very in my way. I had so many epic encounters with Miggy. People would always say how evenly matched we were. It's incredible how many times it would end up with just the two of us battling it out. Oh, the gnome is wanted. That's funny. Always one eye on the prize, the other on each other's torsos. Okay, we got the wall. We still have to get the windows, the doors, and the sign. Okay, one window. Got the door. And that window. Now we gotta get this sign. Sign's done. That wind vane. No, that's a light. That's a light post in this parking lot. Okay. Unimportant. I get this fence. No, the fence is still dirty. Fence is clean. Alright, gotta get these windows still. Oh my god, for a second I thought that cactus over there was like a person just standing there staring at me, ready to come at me. I was like, when did this turn into a horror game? Alright, so I still need to get the wall and the general store sign. Wonder what's missing on the wall. Let's get around the sign better and see if we can get the wall. Never mind, we got the sign. Okay. So where on the wall is missing cleanliness? There we go. Okay, I think that's all of the outside walls now, actually. We still have a bunch of stuff on the inside. I think I want to go do... We'll do this railroad track next, and then we're gonna do the rocks. Alright, let's start with the rails. Get the top of the rails. Ah, we found the criminal. Okay, so we got the tops of the rails. Now we need to try and get these sides. The rails are gonna take a few swipe throughs because there's so many different angles and they're so long. I feel like, what game does this music right now remind me of? There's a specific game that I'm getting the energy of, and I have no idea what it is. I don't know if it's Ratchet and Clank. Alright, now when I go on this side, I should be able to finish both of these rails. I guess we'll do the outside rail first. Outside from my perspective, at least. Nice, okay. And now we get the sun. And hope that this one can be just as friendly. Problem is doing it inside the cave. Yeah, it's pretty tough. Let's see how bad it ends up being, though. Nice, not at all. Okay, so now we gotta do all the railroad ties. Alright, so we've got a problem in that they require me to turn to get all the angles, so instead I'm just going to get them all facing this direction, then get them all, finish them all coming from the other direction. So now I should be able to come around and finish off each of these ones, hopefully without too much difficulty. That's 2. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. I wonder if that's actually correct. It's out of curiosity. Should be able to see it here. Railroad sleeper, right? Mine track sleepers is what they're actually called. Mine track sleepers, 27. Okay, just for the hell of it, why not? All right, let's do this cactus. Why not? Okay, cactus done. Now we need to get the rest of these rock faces. That's probably one of the biggest things left, is to do the rock faces. Now we got all these boxes and barrels blocking the rock faces too. That's gonna be annoying. Cool. Oh boy, TNT. I forget what TNT stands for. Okay, this rock face. Oh, there's still more of it over here. The curve goes over to the side. There we go. I'll get the archway after I get the rest of the rock face here. Cool. An itch on my head. Alright, I'm 50% of the way there and at just over an hour. We're looking at about a 2-hour job. Fantastic. There we go. Okay. Let's get the cactus over here. Cool. Let me grab a sip of water. Been spraying it all over the place except for inside my body. Hey there, baby boy. You've been cozy there for the last hour as well. Switching to your other side, are we? Yeah. I mean, with everything that you've had going on today, probably good to not have any plans, isn't it? Now you get to just exist and mellow out for the weekend, right? I'm sorry that you got ghosted for Baldur's Gate, though. Heard a lot of people really like it. How you doing, Jill? You doing any better? Mostly fine? Well, that's mostly okay then. Could be worse. Could be better. Man, I'm an awkward person, aren't I? I'm not good at social interaction. But I play video games. I do want to play Baldur's Gate, but I feel like, knowing me, I have to play the other two games before that, and I think they're all decently long games. That would be quite the time commitment before I would get to them. I don't know which ones of them are multiplayer or not, too. What? The cat's thirsty, though. Bob was very food motivated today, which is unusual for him. He's usually pretty apathetic about eating his food. I usually have to like put it in front of him a few times before he's eaten enough for me to be satisfied. What's up, baby boy? You heard me talking about you? Yeah, but it's not, but it's your water that she wants. Yeah, you can see his little ears right there. You good boy. He just likes to keep me company. She never drinks yours? Maybe she got a taste of it and it tastes good. Or maybe smelled it. Is it just normal water, or is it like flavored? Or sparkling, didn't you say? You said you like a lot of sparkling things, didn't you? Sometimes cats are weird. Sometimes they get obsessed with things for no good reason. Like Theo is obsessed with tape. For no good reason, he just is obsessed with tape. Anytime he can get his hands on it, he will go for it. There's no cold sparkling water. I see, I see. Throw some in the fridge. I do whatever I can to make sure that there's something for Abby to drink, because she can't drink normal water unless it's like a specific bottled brand. She's so picky. But I am always trying to get her to drink water because I know it's good for her. She went to the doctor and the doctor's like, yeah, you need to drink more water. I'm like, yeah, she does. We're just piling on her about it. I mean, I imagine some people enjoy the hygienist that just gets the job done and doesn't try talking, because you can't really talk to people when your mouth... Like, I always got confused when I would have a hygienist that would just sit there and try and talk to me and ask me questions when my mouth is wide open and I'm like, I can't speak. Why are you talking to me? You know what? Maybe it's the same kind of thing as, like, the people that give 5 stars to the Uber drivers that don't speak a word. Yeah, you have a more public-facing job than I do for sure. The only people I really have to interact with are my own teammates, and we're all awkward in our own ways. The elderly do like being chatty. Well, they come from a time when people were more social. People would interact with each other more in public. And then as well, when you get older, like, you figure, like, what do I have to lose? Start talking with people. We live in a time where we're so distrusting in general of other people that we don't really want to interact with them unless we have something to do with them, because we're either afraid that something bad will happen, or we're afraid of them assuming we are planning something bad for them. Which is kind of sad. Majority 45 plus for your age. I mean, they tend to be, older people tend to be the ones that are more, what's the word? Conscientious about their dental health? I have not been very conscientious because we haven't found a new dentist since we moved. It's great. That was not on the top of our list, okay? Getting a doctor, a regular doctor, was at the top of our list, and we did get that settled. And then actually, no, getting a vet was at the top of our list because we needed prescriptions for my boy. That was the top of the list. I think doctor was second. Dentist kind of fell down to like 4th or 5th place. Abby has always been like, oh yeah, we need to get a dentist, and she looks at me specific. She's like, damn, we need to get a dentist, especially for you. I'm like, it's fine. We don't need it. You know, we're in no rush. We're fine. And I fully know I'm being a degenerate about it. I had a weird thing happening to me while I was sick. So today's the first day that I've been feeling like, I'm probably feeling like 90% what I usually do, which is pretty dang good considering how bad I was feeling over the weekend. But one of the weird things that was happening to me, and my guess is that it's caused from my blowing my nose. But anyway, I've got a whole bunch of like, it feels like cold sores or like cuts or something, like sore spots on my cheeks, like right in the middle of my cheek, and then at the tops up like where the cheek meets the gum. And it's all on one side, and I was trying to figure out why all of a sudden my mouth was hurting so much. And my guess is that it's because of when I blow my nose, I'm like puffing my cheeks out really hard because of all the air that I'm pushing through my nose. And for some reason, I'm pushing air through my nose, it ends up coming like plugging my mouth. And I think that I ended up just like stretching out my cheeks too much while I was blowing my nose, and now I'm like got tearing in my cheek. At least that's my current running theory of all that. Uh-oh, I don't know what this is. I don't even know what this emoji is. So I've been, whenever I blow my nose now, I've been like carefully like scrunching up. It's a confused one. Yeah, I have no idea. But I have pain like here, and then up here and down here where my cheek meets my gum. And I feel the pain mostly when I eat and when I blow my nose and I puff my cheeks out. Like even me demonstrating like me puffing my cheek out started making it hurt again. So but I've never had that problem before, and I don't think me puffing my cheeks out when I blow my nose is a new thing. I don't know. But I've been something you've never heard of. Well, maybe I just have, it's a thing of my sickness and that's giving me cold sores, and that me puffing my cheeks out just made it more obvious or something. I'm not entirely sure. But what I've been doing is after I eat meals now, I've been doing mouthwash. So I've been doing mouthwash like 3 or 4 times a day, just to like help disinfect it. And I've noticed that that's caused the irritation to go down pretty significantly. The only problem is that it leaves my mouth. I don't like this mouthwash I have right now. It leaves a residue taste longer than any other mouthwash I've had. Yeah, no, I have weird symptoms sometimes. Something aloe based. Is there aloe based mouthwashes? I specifically buy ones that are fluoride because my last dentist was telling me that I need more fluoride on my teeth. So he was like, you need a fluoride based mouthwash. So, but I was using like a Listerine or a Top Care, like a name brand one, but then the newest one I just got is like the I forget what it is. The cheapo brand. Use something more gentle. I don't even know if they're sores. I don't even know what they are. I can take a look next time I go to the store, but anytime I've had like an injury in my mouth, like I remember in college at one time when I still had a manual toothbrush, I once like accidentally jammed my toothbrush very hard into my gum, and I ended up with like a scrape in my mouth, and it only got worse over time because I'd be eating and it was just like infected. And I started doing mouthwash like twice a day, and that made the pain finally stop because it was just disinfecting. And so mouthwash has kind of been my go-to whenever I have an in-mouth pain of any kind. See, I'm a functional human being. Cheek lesions are usually from clenching and grinding. Those are called vestibules. Yeah, I got like 3 spots on my, and it's all on one cheek too. My left cheek, it feels perfectly fine. But who knows? I'm just falling apart at the seams. We do need to get a dentist appointment up in here for both of us. We did finally get to the doctor though. Our appointments were like made months out because that was the only time the doctor was available for it. Oh, we got more lore. On the inner wall of Fort Blue is a purple doubler. Exciting. It's probably gone now. I don't know. I'd taken out both of Mickey's lieutenants with a single shot, and he rage released 2 shots on the wall, which backsplashed him. I can't get on this thing. Where's my stool? We actually ended up laughing about that. That's when the relationship changed. The initial infection. I made a joke that it... I mean, I did have a fever over the weekend. But, I mean, I started getting sick on Saturday. Started getting sick on Saturday. I had like body aches and a headache. And then Sunday was probably the worst day. I was like, my body felt weak and tired. My nose was kind of runny. And I could tell my body was having trouble regulating its temperature. Like at the end of the night, when I was getting up to go to bed, I was on the couch with like a blanket, but I stood up and I didn't have anything. When I stood up, I was just in like a t-shirt and shorts, and I just started shivering because my body was like, nope, you're cold now. And I had a fever over the night. At least I think I had a fever. I woke up a little sweaty. And I told Abby, I'm like, yeah, I have a feeling I'm gonna have a fever tonight, so stay on your half of the bed because mine's not gonna be clean. Then we, clean the sheets afterward. Yeah, most of my symptoms, like I had a sore throat, and not even really a sore throat, just more like an irritated throat. And I only noticed the mouth thing like 2 days ago, so like today's Friday, so I probably only noticed that like starting Tuesday or Wednesday. Alright, before I finish like this whole tower up here, I should probably make sure I've got everything under the tower first. Okay, the sloped ceiling here. Cool. But yeah, no, ever since I started doing the mouthwash, my mouth has been much better. Much less pain. Anyway, I've been going on about this for a while. Sure, well, let's find out if I have herpes. Sure. Alright, we're taking a pause now. We're gonna find out if I have herpes. Gingivi. I don't even know how. Okay, I can read this. Gingivistomatic. Oh, God. Gingivistomatitis. Gingivistomatitis. That took me a minute. Infection of the mouth. Gingivostomatitis. Poor oral hygiene. What are you trying to say? How common is it? What are the symptoms? Okay, painful sores or ulcers on the lips, gums, or inner cheek. It's all on the cheek. It's not on the gums at all. It's all on the cheek. My gums aren't any more tender than they normally are. I mean, my gums have always been problematic. My lymph nodes, I think, were just normally swollen, like, I guess. I didn't really have dry mouth or bad breath from what I could tell, aside from sick person. I did have a headache. I didn't have a loss of appetite, though. I was still getting hungry. I was just trying to eat more, like, sweeter or creamier or, like, not salty and spicy was what I was trying to avoid. How's it diagnosed? How's it treated? May include antibiotics. Take pain relievers. I did that. I have been doing mouthwash. I hate salt water though. I just can't do it. Avoid eating hot, spicy, or salty foods. I did that too. Brush twice a day and floss once a day. I did the brushing. I have not been attending. But I mean, I had some of these symptoms, but I also just thought I had I don't know. I don't know if this is a stress-induced thing on my cheeks, or if this is an infection of some type. Either way, it seems like, from what I was reading on there, just take good care of my mouth and my immune system should, and keep it clean, and my immune system should hopefully recover from it. Yawn. I mean, the problem is that I went to, So what is your advice? What is your advice here? Wait, I can look for an aloe-based mouthwash. But if you're gonna tell me to floss, like, it's just painful and uncomfortable, and I hate it. And I have a problem doing it consistently. Sometimes I can get into it consistently, but most of the time I dislike it strongly. And I know my previous dentist would tell me that I should look into getting a water pick, but I just never did. It just feels weird that, it just feels weird to me that it would be this mouth thing that gave me the fever, if I had the effects of the fever before I had the pain in my mouth. I went to a very, very public thing on Thursday. I went to the New York State Fair on Thursday. There were thousands of people there. And so I ended up getting sick like 2 days later. So my mind was I probably got a cold or a flu or something at the New York State Fair. I wasn't that surprised when I ended up getting sick. So it's kind of it's odd to me that I would have a completely different thing, but it could be. But as far as what I saw in there, like, to take care of it, I can either go ask for antibiotics or just try and keep it clean, yeah? The treatment is the same. I'm not saying that that's not what I have. That could definitely be it. I still have the page up. I'll probably ask Abby to look at it. I'm sorry if it seems like I'm disregarding. I am listening. Sometimes when it comes to my mouth health, I'm a little stubborn. Mostly because I know that the advice generally boils down to you should floss more. Nice. Have fun with your Baldur's Gate. Alright, see you later, Jill. Aha. I'm afraid that I might have upset her. Imagine how humid the area is must be after done cleaning. I guess it depends on whether I'm using heated water or not. Because the amount of water I'm pushing out here is, like, compared to rain, probably not that much. Like, it could rain for like a minute and probably outdo the amount of water I spray in totality here, yeah? How you doing, chicken? How are things? It's a paintball course. So this is all paintball residue. I'd be surprised if it wasn't rainbow and colorful, in all honesty. But they're having like a big tournament match, so they want all of the previous paintball stains cleaned up so that they can easily track the shots, because everybody's gonna get like a specific number of shots, so they want to be able to count everything. And that's where I come in. I gotta clean up all the past games. Hope things are going well for you. Sorry I haven't been streaming much in the past week. I was sick. Today's the first day that I'm feeling pretty much normal. So while I was still just playing video games, I didn't think talking for hours on end was a good idea. And then Jill was giving me advice, and I think I was a little too bit dismissive, and I upset her, and I apologize. How bad sick was I? So I had a fever over the weekend, and I had headaches and body chills and body aches. But I made it through with like acetaminophen and ibuprofen, and I went and got like a generic like cough like cold and head. I did rest for a lot of it. I was not running around too much. I think the most exerting thing I did was I did go shopping on one of the earlier days when I could tell that I was starting to get sick, because I wanted to go and pick out my medicine. I let Abby like do a lot of the like lifting of everything, and you know, interacting with the cashier and everything while I sat back. But yeah, no, I spent most of it sitting around on the couch watching things and playing video games because I hate just sitting there watching things the whole time I'm sick, because I feel like I'm a vegetable. But I like to play games when I'm sick to at least keep my mind doing something. Yeah, turn the body off. Well, I'm not very good at taking naps, so I mostly just sat on the couch as a vegetable, watching things, playing games. Thankfully, we had a whole bunch of food in the fridge too. We had cooked a lot of food the week before, and we were still going through leftovers, so I didn't even need to really cook. But it was nice, at least not having to do all that stuff. Leftover Hoover. Yeah, no, it was good. And Abby was trying to take the brunt of a lot of the housework over the weekend for me, which was nice. Anytime I'd try and get up to help her with something, she'd be telling me to heck off. Which is exactly what I do to her when she's sick, so she's just getting revenge on me. Got some pizza and you're playing some Elden Ring. You're not playing any of the new games that have come out lately? There's been a few of them that people have been obsessing over, like Baldur's Gate and Starfield, I know. Probably gonna be a while before I get to any of them. I haven't played any of the Baldur's Gate games. Alright, so the floor here is still dirty somehow. You're not a fan of things like that? Fair enough. You like your Souls-like games. How many like more indie Souls-like games have you tried, out of curiosity? Do you like to just stick with the FromSoft games, or do you try and find Souls-like games on like Steam or something? I know that there's a YouTuber that'll do like, oh, I played 7 more Souls-like games. Here's what I think of them. Okay, the flagpole's done, the flag's done. Fair enough. That would live in it. I just made the shift to playing games on my PC so long ago now that I keep forgetting about it, in all honesty. But I try and make my gaming on a PC feel as similar to playing on a console as I can. Like for the first like year and a half, 2 years of my streaming, all of my gaming was done, like even though it was on a PC, I would have a controller and I'd be on my couch and it would just be hooked up to my computer. I had a hub, a USB hub. It was great. And I mean, I still do that every once in a while on my couch here too. Like it's still set up that I can do that if I want to. It's already built for you. I mean, that's true. Like you don't have to worry about getting things to run sometimes, which can be annoying depending on the game you're trying to set up. The only problem is when you get a game that doesn't support your controller. Then you have to choose whether you're going to like sigh heavily and pull out the mouse and keyboard, or if you're going to go and grab a software to emulate to emulate the keyboard controls for you. I do have software and I do use that, but some games like don't play nicely when you do that. There's a lot of stuff with games, like especially like first-person shooters, where your aiming is done with like a curve, so like you have finer control if you don't move the stick the full direction, and it like speeds up and stuff like that, and you lose that kind of control through that kind of software. They have dust. The door frame. Okay, there we go. Window frame. See, I have my thing set up so that I have a wireless keyboard and mouse. So, and I have my computer hooked up to the living room TV. So I can go sit on the couch and I just have the keyboard in my lap and I can, you know, search up videos and do whatever I feel like. You know, play too many shooters. But yeah, that's just an example. There are lots of games that just don't work so well with when you use, I use Joy to key when I want to emulate mouse and keyboard with a controller. But for the most part, a lot of games want to try and support controllers because a lot of people enjoy playing with them. I will never prefer mouse and keyboard over controller. Controllers are so much more instinctive to me. I find myself often on a keyboard like pressing the wrong buttons and having to look down and reorient and making sure I'm on the right place, and I don't like it. But for now, I'm taking it easy. I'm playing a nice easygoing game with PowerWash Simulator, now that Bloodborne has been taken down. You have fumble thingies. Yeah, thankfully there's also a lot of games that let you remap everything. Although I do try and play most games with the controls that they give you, because I usually assume that they've put some thought into it. Which doesn't always seem to be the case. Once in a while I'll remap something, like I'll switch. I hate games where like, I hate games where you have to hold down the left stick to sprint. I hate that. I hate using the left stick for sprint. I always try and remap that one especially. Yeah, no, sometimes you gotta contort weirdly. I play claw a lot. I can't really show it very well. I do claw a lot with games. I think in Bloodborne I was using claw half the time, and I developed using that way of playing before I even realized what it was, just because that's what I had to in order to press the buttons and control them the way I wanted to. But I'm also just a monster with some of the ways that I hold controllers in general, and it all started with a Nintendo 64. My N64 controllers, I knew how to use them, but I held them in a way that everybody would look at me like I was a monster. Not the way that I held it, the way that I would move the stick. So like, you know, if you know the N64 controller, it has one joystick at the bottom and the middle, and it has 3 prongs on it. And I would hold it like this, so like my hand would be on the middle prong, and to move the stick, I would have my finger and just go like this, kind of like an Atari joystick, and I would move like this. and that is how I would control myself. And everybody who's seen me play N64 games like that look at me and they're like, what is wrong with you? Why are you holding it like that? And then they'll see me play and I'll do well and they're like, okay, leave you alone. But like, I think most people don't even know how you're supposed to hold an N64 controller correctly, in all honesty. The way that you control the camera while running, you use the pointer finger to move the right stick, your thumb on the run button. So like you have a finger, you have your pointer finger over and your thumb tucked under, is that how that works? So that you could like press the run button and the jump button while moving it? Interesting. See, the way I do it is I curve my index finger like claw style so that I can use the side of my index finger to press the buttons, and then I've got my thumb on the joystick. And I think that's what I was doing a lot in Bloodborne to move around, was I was using the sides of my index finger to press the buttons. I have a long, what do I have a long? If it works and it looks stupid, then it's not stupid. I agree. Everybody has their own way of doing it. People make fun of the way that I hold a lot of things. Like my sister was making a comment about the way I was holding my fork at dinner like a week or two ago. She's like, "Why are you holding it like that?" I'm like, "I don't know, it's just the way I do it and it works for me. Shut up." I don't hold pencils normally either. Sometimes you just have to find what works for you. Nice. Bloodborne was fun though. I enjoyed playing through it. And I have a friend who's been trying to get me to play Sekiro for a long time. And I keep telling him like, nope, gotta work my way through all the games in order. And he's been on me for like years now to play Sekiro. I'm like, nope, gotta work my way. And so I finished Bloodborne. He's like, oh, Sekiro's next, right? I'm like, nope. Dark Souls 3. He's like, that's not how you spell Sekiro. I'm like, yeah, well. Sekiro's after that though. Gotta be patient. Cool. All right, let's get this cactus here. But over my sickness, I played through the very first Wolfenstein game, Castle Wolfenstein, which came out in like 1982, 1981, 1983, early 1980s. That was interesting. I did finish that, and then What else was I playing? Super Paper Mario, which I got when it first came out, but I remember being disappointed playing it for the first time because I had played the Thousand Year Door, and I loved Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, and I loved turn-based RPG games especially. They were among my favorite genre of games. So when a new Paper Mario game came out, I was ecstatic and I was excited, and I bought it, and I was absolutely depressed when I found out that it was not a turn-based RPG game and that it was just a platforming like combat game. And I was so sad. I still am kind of sad. In all honesty, Super Paper Mario feels very soulless in comparison to the Thousand Year Door. But I've been slowly working my way through that. And then Wii Sports, because why not? Why wouldn't I play Wii Sports? I've actually been playing that with Abby. She's been getting very into it, which is very endearing, how all the trash talking she's throwing at the Miis for no reason. That has been very entertaining to me. And then I've also started playing the first Devil May Cry game, which feels a lot like Bayonetta, so I'm assuming Bayonetta was probably inspired by Devil May Cry. They feel very similar in the way that they play, but I think Bayonetta made the gameplay more smooth over Devil May Cry, at least in the first iteration. So I'm interested to see how the Devil May Cry games evolve over time. But right now I do like Bayonetta more just because I feel like I have more control over what's happening. Alright, there's some boxes over here, so let's get these. Okay, there's a cactus and a box and a wheel, I guess. Also, my cleaning pace seems to have slowed because I'm now at an hour 50 and I'm only at 77%. Okay. So there's 2 ramps on this one. Okie dokie. I don't know what this said in the graffiti. Something about the red team rules or something. Life really is too short, and you have to learn to seize the day. You see, Miggy told us the other day that this is to be his final battle ever. Aw. Are you going to let him win? I just wish I'd have told him what he meant to me before it was too late. I suppose I could still drive to Sparkleton and drop in on him, but with the price of diesel, he'd be lucky. I think you should, but I mean, are you gonna see him at this match? Okay, I'll have to get the... I don't know if I got the underside. I don't think I did. No worries, my guy. I'm just sitting here cleaning. that is my life. Cleaning random stuff. When I was streaming on my couch, I would use the mobile Twitch app on an iPad to interact with my chat. It was great, and I couldn't even see myself like on stream. I couldn't see my stream output at all. A little bit jank. I enjoyed it. Jank is what streaming is all about. That's honestly the reason I added the sound that plays when you messaged me for the first time, was to play a noise to alert me that I should look over at the iPad, because I would get so into the game sometimes that I wouldn't look down at the iPad because it was out of the way. It'd be like down here. I'd have to like go and be like, oh, hey, okay. But now it's like I have my game here and then chat's like right there. It's I see the movement out of the corner of my eye of the chat messages. Makes it much easier for me to keep an eye on like people talking. Cool. It's like the reminder of the jank. It's actually, the sound effect is from AOL Instant Messenger, which I don't know how old you are, Chicken, compared to me, but AOL Instant Messenger was like, when I first started using a computer, that's how people were talking. And so that sound effect like resonates with me, and so I hear it, I'm like, I know exactly what that's from. And so as soon as I hear it now, it instantly gets my attention. In inner time, I'm fossil, dead and gone. That might be. I'm an old man. My friends that I play Dungeons and Dragons with, they keep going on about how I'm such an old man. I was chatting with some of them yesterday, and one of them, like, every time, like, we kept talking about ages, and just every time he's like, yeah, come on, don't worry, Dan's like 40 years old, and then the next time he talks, he's like, yeah, Dan's like 45 years old, and he would just keep, like, escalating my age until at the end of it, I was like 90 something. I'm like, come on. Come on. Just pick an age and settle on it. 103 energy. He's a funny guy. He and I are actually, he's going through some stuff, so I'm gonna try and spend some time with him more. And one thing I suggested to him that we could do to keep his mind off things is, because he and I both like D&D, and that's how we met. We're gonna write a new D&D one-shot together. And I came up with an idea today, and he really likes it, because we're trying to figure out how are we going to deal with this. If we both know what it is, only one person can be the dungeon master and run it. The other person would be a player, but they know what's going to happen. So I'm like, why don't we just lean into that? And we have one person pose as just a random player. And after they've gone through this adventure all together for like 3 hours, suddenly it turns out that one of the people they've been playing with is just in on it the whole time, and that player turns out to be the final boss. And so I think we're gonna write a story around that. Pretty excited. I think that'll be fun. I did get the inner wall here, so now I want to get the outer wall. I do enjoy writing D&D stuff. I'm hoping soon I'll be able to start doing that some more. But I ran a long-term campaign, and ever since then I've been like, I'm good. I'd like to be a player for a while, but I haven't found a good group to do a long-term campaign with. I'd also be interested in trying some of the other games as well. They're not complicated. There are things to remember, yeah, but it's not hard. Some people are very bad at explaining it and will try to explain it to you, and they'll make it more complicated than it needs to be, for sure. But it's not bad. And it makes a big difference who tries to teach you and who you're playing with for the first time to help you learn, for sure. And I mean, yeah, and video games with simplified RPG elements also have the added benefit of you can react to things in real time, for one, and for two, like, you can visually see everything that's happening, and you can see the consequences of your action visually in front of you. And a lot of people that don't like tabletop games don't like the fact that you kind of have to imagine everything that's happening. But as long as you have a dungeon master that's detail oriented and can explain to you things well enough, like, you have a lot of fun with it. But I know that D&D is not for everybody. I mean, it's easy enough in D&D as well. Like, if, let's say you pick to play as a barbarian will have a high strength. And if you want to know, whenever you try and do something in D&D that is strength related, or whenever you try to do pretty much anything, you roll a 20-sided die to see how well you do. Low, bad, high, good. Roll a 20, you pretty much will always succeed. Roll a 1, you'll pretty much always fail. And then numbers in between that doesn't matter. And then if you're a barbarian, you naturally would be good at strength, so when you roll your 1d20, you get to add your strength stat on top of that to give you a better roll overall. And when you're a barbarian, like a higher level barbarian, you're adding like 12 onto a roll of 1 through 20, and you're adding 12 on there. Like, you're gonna be strong no matter what, pretty much. what's with all the memes about wizards being weak? Wizards are made fun of being weak because they don't have a lot of health, for one, and they don't have a lot of armor, for two. So the way that it works in D&D is if somebody attacks you, first they roll to see if they hit you. Just roll a d20 plus your attack modifier, which for a barbarian is strength, and for a wizard would be intelligence, or for a rogue would be dexterity. There's 6 main stats. It's usually whatever your class is, you know which ones you're gonna be better with. So you roll seed to hit, and the number to hit a wizard is lower than the number to hit a warrior because it's easier to hit a wizard that's just wearing, you know, cloth robes versus a warrior that's got a shield and armor. 1d4, a 4-sided die. Roll a 4-sided die 1 time. That's what that means. And so wizards are made fun of for being weak because A, they're easier to hit, and B, they have less hit points. So they're squishy. So they are squishy. And the warriors have to come in, and the fighters have to come in and protect them, basically. What the hell am I listening to?
Yeah, and this video is a special thing. I produced.
This guy kind of looks like a Russian Gordon Ramsay. Okay, that's nice, thank you. I don't know why the playlist I'm listening to is, but it's great. Yeah, in D&D there are different dice, but for 90% of your rolls you're just gonna roll a d20 because the d20 is the generic I'm trying to do something roll. Here's how well I do it. 90% of your rolls are going to be with a d20. The other die are usually for like rolling damage. So like if I stab you with a knife, I roll a d20. Did I hit you? Yay or nay? And then if I do hit, then it's like, okay, my knife does 1d4 damage. So I roll a d4 to see how much damage I do to you. Russian Gordon Ramsay? That's what he looked like, okay? God damn it, okay. Not with the mask.
Music.
This guy.
Yeah, and this video is a special thing. I produced.
He looks like a Russian Gordon.
I made 5 different versions of the famous song Bella Ciao. You know it from Money Heist.
What is this guy's name anyway? I want to thank him for his hard work.
Version,
I don't know what his name is.
and piano, ska
Okay.
version, rock version, and the original.
Anyway, moving on. So yeah, so you roll the d20 to determine if you hit something or if something happens, and then you roll the other die to see your damage. Yeah, you got it. And that's like the majority of what happens of what you're doing in D&D when it comes to like the mechanics, where you roll the d20 to try and do something, and if you hit somebody, you roll the correct damage die, which usually it's more than a d4. Usually you're doing like a d8 for your damage. But you know, different spells or different weapons will do different dice for damage, and then some will have special effects on them. D1 would be grammatically correct. You're saying roll the 4-sided die 1 time. Yes, I mean you could say that, but most people see it as 1d4, meaning you're rolling a d4 1 time. So because you're referring to that die as the d4, because there's a 4, a 6, an 8, a 10, a 12, and a 20. So you'll refer to it as the d10, the d20, the d12, and then the number before says how many of that one you roll. Because there's many instances where you'll roll more of the same. Like the most classic spell for a wizard is Fireball, which is 6d6. So you roll a d6 6 times to determine how much damage it does. And and then you can upgrade it, let's say, and then it does 8d6 instead. So you roll it 8 times instead of 6. But the nice thing about D&D is you start off, usually you'll start off by playing as a low level. You'll have fewer things to do, so you... How much of a beating do the dice take? A lot when you're a higher level. And you're blasting people, and you're a wizard, yeah. But most people nowadays are playing like online, so you don't even, there's no actual physical dice that's being thrown. You just like calculate, you'll just say, hey, /R 6d6, and then it'll like pseudo roll and give you your result for you. Yeah, no, but I've had a couple of instances where I've been done really high level one-shots and I pull some stupid stunt, and I think I remember at one point I rolled 100 d10. It's pseudo random, it's close enough. Yeah, no, I had to roll 100 d10 for something, and I just did it on the computer because like I'm not rolling. It was really bad. But it was also hilarious. And that was me casting a spell called Firestorm that I believe does... Oh, I ended up doing like 700 damage, I think. I might be wrong on that one. That might be way off, I don't know. Enough to kill what I was trying to kill. Let's put it that way. I need to be stopped. Well, at that point, I was playing an adventure with some people. It was going longer than we wanted it to. And it was called a one-shot, so it's meant to be you sit down for like 4 hours and then you finish it. Like you don't, there's no like to be continued for next time. It's you introduce your characters, you go through an adventure, you get to a finale, and you're done. Just one sit-down session, done. That's a one-shot. And our one-shot at that point had been going longer than we all wanted it to, and some people were falling asleep and getting ready to go to bed. So I'm like, I just need to kill this thing. And it was very large, and I had a spell that could cover a wide area. And I ended up like talking to the DM. I'm like, hey, if I cast this, can I just like hit it in every spot that it's in? He's like, well, technically, yes. I'm like, okay, cool. So that's 10 times. And it died. And everybody was excited and then pretty much went to bed immediately afterward because they were ready to fall asleep. But usually I don't like being the person that does the obscene amounts of damage. I usually like to be the more like, you know, the cooler things. How much health did it have? I don't know. As the player, you're usually not given the direct stats of what you're fighting. You kind of have to feel it out as you're playing. Because the Dungeon Master doesn't want you to know all the mechanics of what you're fighting. But it was called a Tarrasque. And it has 676 health by default. I don't know. It was an undead Tarrasque, so I don't know if he changed it at all. But 10d10 is expected to do how much, or 100d10 is expected to do how much damage. I have a calculator on my computer here. That's very bright, but 100d10 is 550 damage expected. Yes, they are described as overpowered, but our characters were also overpowered. We were all like max level, basically. Which makes it a little more doable. The problem is, if you end up playing D&D with anybody, a lot of them will have you playing as a lower level because a lot of dungeon masters are unfamiliar with dealing with high-level players because high-level players can do a lot of broken things. But I always felt like an outsider to D&D when I started. Like, I didn't really know much about the official lore. I went into it as like, I am a gamer and I like playing games. And so I'm not really afraid of the high level stuff because that means I get to make my monsters also stupidly high level to cancel out a lot of their bullcrap. How much damage was it doing to me? Actually, it was doing very little to me. My dungeon master gave us some like special items for our characters, and he ended up giving me an item that basically made it so that I would barely take any damage. My teammates, however, were taking lots of damage, but I was a cleric, so I could heal and I could do damage. So I was keeping my teammates alive through most of the fight, and then when the fight was going on too long, I'm like, okay, I have like this one big high damage spell, I'm gonna use it now for my team's sake. Oh yeah, no, I did that online. I did that with a calculator. But there is something just satisfying about rolling the dice. It was Holy Fire. The spell was called Firestorm. It was pretty fun. But yeah. If you're ever interested in playing D&D, I have a like beginner one-shot that I've been writing because I wanted to get my niece into it, and I'm looking for people that want to play. If you're ever interested, I'd be more than happy to help you out. D&D's fun. The only problem is it's a patience thing. Like a session of D&D is going to take 2 or 3 hours at a minimum. A lot of people will go for like 3 or 4 tends to be the general amount of time. So it's a big time sink to get into it. But if you can find a very good group of people that mesh well, like it's a blast. I'm still looking for a good group of people to play with again. I had one group that was pretty fun, but we all kind of, our lives all kind of erupted, and the DM lost his spark for it. And we all just kind of fell apart on it. But the group that I played with for the very first time, we're all still talking. We're not playing D&D anymore because all of the DMs are burnt out. So now we all just hang out as a group of players. We play a lot of video games. We'll chat about life and stuff. Yeah, no, D&D's fun. I've been thinking in the back of my mind of doing a Bloodborne inspired one-shot as well, because there's a lot of good material to work with. Lots of different monsters that have different weird effects that could translate well to D&D. But I haven't had a chance to play D&D in probably a good... Oh, how long has it been? Months at least. It's probably been at least 2 months. Probably longer than that. I wrote a one-shot and ran it a few months ago. Aha, ceiling done. Okay, the frame here still needs... Probably the top of the frame, right? Cool. Anything else? This frame. Okay. This wall. It's an OCD person's nightmare? How so? I think it's fantastic for people with OCD because they get to sit here and get all the little spots, and they get a very, very satisfying ding the moment that they get it. They get the last of it. And when you get it, any of those little tiny bits that you can't really see that you miss, there's usually a threshold. When you get the ding, everything's just clean for you. Like finish off those little tiny bits so you don't have to scour every single inch. I've found the game pretty satisfying. There's only a couple of areas, a couple of missions in the game I've noticed that it feels like the threshold for the ding is a little too high. And so I'm like, I have no idea where I'm missing here. Just give me the ding. Tell me it's done. Not obvious, yeah. It's a nice game. I like it. It's a game that doesn't require too much from me in general. I just kind of sit here and I just clean and I talk about whatever pops into my mind while I'm doing so. And it doesn't require me to sit there and like react to giant beasties that are trying to crush me underfoot or breathe fire or charge at me or suck my brain. I like this Loki. Well, they'll either like it or not. You can also recommend unpacking. I know a lot of people really like unpacking for like a relaxing, like OCD, like calming game. I have not myself played unpacking yet, but my niece played it and she was really into it. Okay, I already got that wall cap. Purely based on opinion, so it's too forgiving. Ah, I see. I guess it's all subjective. Probably people find some things annoying and other people find it relaxing. My ex-girlfriend was really into like menial tasks, so she loved games that would make her do menial tasks. She's like, I just don't want to think. I just want to be told to do something and do it. So like in Minecraft, she loved like just digging out huge areas. And meanwhile, I'm tearing my hair out when I have to dig out a huge area. Visceral Cleanup Detail, it's on my list. I think I own it. I have not played it though. It's on my list of games to play, not my list of games beaten, to clarify, because I know I have a lot of lists. I have a friend that really wants to play Visceral Cleanup Detail with me. I do look forward to that. I have a lot of games that I want to play. I'm working my way through as many of them as I can. Just, you know, you only have so much time in the day. I'm working full time. I've been sick. I still try to go to the gym when I can. Not while I'm sick. Cooking, taking care of the animals. I gotta clean because my girlfriend's family's coming to visit next weekend. And the apartment is not clean enough for that. That's gonna be great. Looking forward to that. She's already going crazy. You're good at organizing, dusting, and staining. I am the opposite. I think I prefer having a clear task of like, I need to get rid of this stain, and sitting there scrubbing that is easier for me to do than being told, hey, make this look nice, and then I'm just standing there holding the thing. I'm like, Okay, nice. And then sometimes, like big things, especially in this game, they'll be a little too forgiving and they'll ding before you feel like you're done with it. But it's honestly like, you can't make it perfect every single time unless you let the player decide, I'm done with that. Which, that doesn't seem like that's how that should be. I don't mind dusting. Dusting's pretty easy for me. I dislike folding laundry. I hate folding laundry. I don't really care much for doing the dishes either, but I do end up doing the dishes most of the time. Alright. So I feel like I'm done with the job. However, the game disagrees with me wholeheartedly, and they're not even giving me like, oh, you only have 3 things left. I have more than 3 things that are not clean. Ah, wait, what is that? The outer wall and the red tower, okay. Got that, and the wall cap. Folding laundry is fun for you. I don't mind putting the laundry in the machine, and in the dryer, that's all fine. But folding it always takes so long. Don't I just get bored? I usually will watch something while I do it. I have to fold my underwear to make it fit in my drawer. I have too much underwear. I have no choice in the matter. I do enjoy throwing the socks into the bin after I match them though. That's fun. Because I fold my laundry downstairs and my bedroom's upstairs, so I have to launch everything into the hamper so that I can carry it up. Right, we're still missing things. I just saw something. The wall cap. This wall cap? Aha, okay. Fence post. Okay, mine warning sign. This sign here, I didn't finish this. Okay. Fort Red sloped inner wall. Sloped ceiling, sloped inner wall, okay. Does cleaning vision have any penalties? I don't think so. I just don't like using it. I try to avoid using it where I can. Try and figure it out. Okay, this fence post here. Did it! Nailed it! We're done. $10 a use. I mean, I got $6,500. I got 659 uses. I think I'd be good. Alright, well, we did it. And I love this part. I love seeing the time lapse of everything that you've cleaned. This is very satisfying. Great job at the paintball. It's absolutely spotless. I can't wait to serve it to Miggy one last time. I'm sure he's been working on his strategy for this all week. I've come up with a new maneuver for which there's no defense. Bring it on. Is it a hug? I feel like it's probably a hug. I think it would be either my problem or the game's problem. I wager to say probably the game's problem at that point, but who knows what my mental state will be if I end up having to use it 650 times.